Way back in 2013, Apple revealed their first major software redesign with iOS 7. Before then, icons, elements, and buttons, they had texture, they had depth, they looked physical, right? But after iOS 7, things looked flat. I think there was a main focus on simplicity, because by then, think about it, users were kind of trained. They knew what an icon was, they knew they could push a button and scroll on a list. So the idea of linking it to the real world wasn't as necessary. But now, we just got a first look at the first redesign since then. Okay, back in pre-iOS 7, I think it's safe to say that would be called the physical age of iOS, right? Things were based on texture and depth in the physical world. After iOS 7, when everything became flattened and clean, that was the simplicity age of iOS. Now, with iOS 26, we're not in the physical age or the simplicity age or the functional or intuitive age. No, it's just glass. We're in the glass age. Okay, so a couple days ago at WWDC 25, they showed off the first look at the first major redesign in a while of iOS. And a main part of that was this look at this new digital material called liquid glass. This liquid glass material is sort of their new modern look to iOS, and they leaned into it pretty hard. Like you can see here in the new Safari app, which was stripped down to about 3 buttons. The Music app, which shows the new tab bar. You know, the tab bar is interesting. It's now floating over the app's content, and then the little icon highlighter turns into this 3D glass blob as it moves between icons, which is interesting. And the new control center, where like every element on the screen is glass. Okay, hopefully by now you're seeing the issue that I'm seeing. Okay, the glass looks great, but accessibility-wise, it's a nightmare. Text from behind the liquid glass clashes with text in front of it. Aliasing and refractions is easily visible because of the lack of blur. In the control center, look at it. There's too much happening here. The icons on the home screen also got a redesign. They weren't rounded or circle like we thought they were gonna be, but they did get a lot of more customization options. Like, for instance, you can make your icons clear, which surprisingly doesn't look bad if you have the right wallpaper. So it just kind of feels Apple is leaning a little bit too much on the form side rather than function, but I don't know, that's just me. There is one thing though that they announced at this event that I think is actually going to change the way that people use their iPhone.
We're opening up access for any app to tap directly into the on-device large language model at the core of Apple Intelligence.
Developers are now going to be able to have access to the on-device models that came with Apple Intelligence. Think about that for a second. As a developer, as somebody making an app, all the people making the apps are going to be able to create AI operations inside of those apps that don't rely on anything. And the user doesn't have to pay anything because they already own the phone that's doing the AI. And as like a beginner developer, I have a few ideas of stuff I can make. So hopefully that will change the way that people use their phones. Okay, there's a lot more to go over in iOS 26. This is just kind of a recap of liquid glass and the design and all that stuff. So if you want to see a longer review going over all the cool updates to like spatial photo viewing and the new lock screen, then consider leaving a like or maybe even subscribing. Thanks so much for watching and have a great day. Toodles.